Now, we're not really a true crime podcast.
No.
And admittedly, I don't know anything about what we're talking about.
Well, you know a little bit. Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And this week we are driving in the car.
Yes.
We don't know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to
know.
have a chat.
This is a genuine podcast. This is like, I feel like a lot of podcasts, like, they're just super chill.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We usually have, like, a grand topic that we're trying to dissect.
That's true.
But this was sort of like an impromptu thing. I had to go do something in the car. And I asked Chrissy if she wanted to join me for a mini road trip.
Yeah.
Kristen was game.
That's right.
And so with literally zero planning, we're just going to hang out. And we were starting to talk about something.
Yeah, well, you said to me that you and Allie listened to a podcast about JFK. And then you went, I actually didn't know anything about O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. So I'm all over the place. My brain is... I swear to God, something is changing in me.
It's fine.
And not for the better.
You have baby brain.
I do. I guess I do. There's just too much going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were in the car before with Zoe, and Zoe goes, "It's not summer." Like, confidently. And I went, "Yeah, no, it's not." And then Allie goes, "Yes, it is." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, it is." But I'm not really listening. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
just affirming the thing that Zoe said with confidence, which is a weird thing to do because she's 3.5 and she it doesn't mean that if she speaks with confidence, she knows what she's talking about anyway.
Yeah, but people just do that sometimes. That's like when, years ago, you said to me that they were going to make a video game out of Nerd Rap Battle.
Yes.
And I went, oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Because I wasn't listening.
Yes, and then I raked you over the coals for it. Yes.
Nerd Rap Battle was like this YouTube video that was really popular, I don't know, 15 years ago.
So long ago, but
Yeah.
it is very funny. Go look up Nerd Rap Battle. Dynamite.
Yeah.
Still
and then
dynamite.
Imagine Will giving me years of shit because I wasn't listening to whatever stupid thing he said. And I just went, oh, yeah, that sounds good.
I'm constantly talking. There's no way to keep up anyway. So anyway, we're going to talk about O.J. Simpson, and we're going to drive in the car and hang out, everybody. This is a genuine chill cast.
It's like you're Bill Maher, and I'm whatever person he has captive down there in Club Random.
Yeah, Club Random. I want a clove cigarette.
Oh, God.
Let's go. And we'll talk all about that kind of stuff after this commercial break.
Okay, we're back.
We're back.
William, tell me what you learned about O.J. Simpson.
All right.
Wait. Oh, no, it's too late. You already know. I was going to say, what do you think you know about O.J. Simpson? Because we do that.
I'll talk. Well, I can reverse time a little bit to
Okay.
be like, here's what I thought I knew.
Perfect.
All right. What I know about O.J. Simpson, I know, and we were there. I mean, not there on the net. We weren't, but we were alive. I was aware enough that people were talking about O.J. Simpson. It's 1995. I'm 9. You're 12.
Yeah.
Do you remember this, like, in the air?
Yes, they
All right.
announced the verdict on the loudspeaker at my school.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
That is
All I
crazy.
can think is that it obviously was not for the students, that it was for the teachers, that like everybody who was in the teacher's lounge was talking about it and like dying to know. And so for some reason, they went like, oh man, the verdict just came in. We know that everybody wants to know. So they went on the loudspeaker and they were like, attention citizens, O.J. Simpson has been found not guilty.
That is so weird.
I know.
There are people who, like, I mean, talk about JFK. There are people who are like, I remember exactly where I was when President JFK was assassinated.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Like, not to invoke another miserable thing, but like, I remember exactly where I was on 9/11. I remember everything about that morning.
Yeah.
JFK's verdict is a very weird one to be like, everyone knows.
You keep mixing up OJ and JFK.
Did I do it again?
Yes.
I'm telling you
You
something.
think they're the same?
Do you feel, with all the mistakes I'm making, do you feel safe driving in a car with me?
No, I think we
I'm
should
behind the
pull
wheel.
over.
I'm behind the wheel right now.
I think we should pull over and we should switch. This doesn't feel fine.
Oh, what a ride, everybody. What a ride. Ride with us.
Yeah, right.
For our pleasure.
I was about to say that.
That's the title of the episode for sure.
Absolutely.
Right? Ride with us for our pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, to bum things out for a second, because it's on the topic and it's kind of a coincidence. Another thing that, like, it's obviously no duh. I remember this. I'm not saying it wouldn't. But I was watching O.J. Simpson Made in America when I found out that our sister Karen died.
Oh, my God.
So they are inextricably linked in my mind.
Awful.
Yeah.
8 years ago, everybody. Unbelievable. All right. Well, to get back onto the I guess the fun topic of OJ.
Right.
It's weird that you have a memory, and it's not your fault. It's weird that the world was like, everyone stop what you're doing. School children, listen up. OJ has been found innocent.
I know.
I like your point that maybe it was for the teachers more than it was for the students. Like, that makes...
I guarantee it was all for the teachers.
But I think kids knew. I think because
I definitely knew. I wasn't like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, I remember the Bronco chase being a big deal.
Yes, I remember the Bronco chase. I remember all these things, but I was just young enough that I was like, I don't even know. I don't understand. I know that these things are going on, and I know people won't shut up about this.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like, to me, it felt like a further 10 years where OJ jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jay Leno would just, like, every night be like, that's like going to a party at OJ's house. Yeesh.
Yes, it's demented.
It was like somehow society had cemented, like, this is a cultural touch point forever, OJ.
Yeah.
And it felt like a long time for a certain generation to get over it.
Yeah.
So my recollection mostly about OJ is that people wouldn't stop talking about it even when it was way over. So that's really, genuinely, that's mostly what I knew. I didn't know shit about, I knew that he killed his wife, and I knew that he killed Ron Goldman, right? But I could not have told you any of the accusations, recreation of the night, anything of that.
Yeah.
No. I knew and then getting older, once I started to become a fan of Norm Macdonald, and I started to, like, really double back to, like, look at all his work, like, Norm Macdonald very famously constantly made jokes about O.J. Simpson on Saturday Night Live during Weekend Update, and so much so that the executives told him, hey, knock it off. Stop making OJ jokes.
Yeah.
One of the guys that, like, ran the network or whatever was friends with OJ and would end up essentially firing Norm Macdonald because he refused to stop making OJ jokes.
Yeah.
Which is pretty ballsy.
It is. It's wild.
It's really, really wild. And yeah, so I knew about, like, the cultural fallout of OJ. I didn't know about OJ's case at all.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that people were making those jokes? Because it's one thing to be making fun of OJ, but it's like all jokes about him being a killer and stuff. And, like, Nicole Brown Simpson's family had to hear all of that, and Ron Goldman's family had to hear that. That sucks.
Oh, listen, it all sucks.
Of course it does.
But when OJ's getting away with murder, literally, it seems,
yeah,
I think that stings way worse than the jokes.
Yeah.
And if anything, the jokes are...
Still, just like I don't know. Like, I feel like there'd be... Obviously not saying this. I can't think of one single joke. But I don't know. Jokes about decapitation. Being like, ew, you don't want to go to OJ's, and, like, pulling on your collar and stuff.
That is
like,
crazy.
That's nuts.
Well, he got away with it.
I know.
You know? But, like, during the case, Norm had jokes where it was like, the defense took a hit today during the OJ trial when the prosecution picked up the knit cap found at the crime scene, and OJ blurted out, hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap.
Yeah. It's a pretty good joke.
It's a pretty good joke, and he did stab people.
Yeah.
So I bet the stabbing...
That's the thing.
And the trial hurt way worse than Norm making jokes.
No, but certainly, but if you're... I don't know. That would still bother me.
Oh, yes. It would all bother me.
Yeah.
It would all bother me.
It still just sucks. There's no... I get it, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But, so anyway, Allie and I were driving into the city, and we didn't have Zoe with us. And now I have this reflex to be like, well, if Zoe's not with us, let's really engage in something that we couldn't get away with a kid in the car.
Let's go nuts.
And I'm not really... I'm interested in true crime, but I don't constantly listen to it. And a lot of it I sort of bristle against however it's presented.
Yeah.
Sometimes people like try to make it really fun.
You know, I'm noticing, I think less so now. I think that in the last 2 years, people know a little bit better. Or at the very least, in a more cynical way, they know that people don't like that as much anymore.
I think that's probably true. I have definitely, though, seen people online be like, I know My Favorite Murder took a lot of hits for that. Like, it's like, your favorite murder? How dare you?
Yeah.
But I always felt that they actually were pretty respectable and tasteful. But I've seen people online go like, top 10 serial killers, go. And then be like, ooh, that's a good one. He's a good one. It's just like, I know you're trying to do the ironic shock thing, but it's just like, I don't know, everybody. It's fine to be fascinated. All of it's fine. It's just a matter of presentation. I agree with you, though. I do think it's probably gotten better overall, but I still see it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because there still is a gleeful, big appetite for true crime.
Yeah.
And there still are, like, a glut of true crime podcasts, and not everybody has the savvy or the ethics.
I'm sure that is true.
Yeah. So
yeah, what did you discover about OJ?
Well, I'd never really listened to Dateline.
Mm-hmm.
That show sucks ass.
Why? I like Dateline.
Oh man, I don't know. It's just got like hardcore reporter voice.
Yeah.
Like, today on Dateline, O.J. Simpson.
Do you remember who
the crime of the century?
I like that. Who was the person? Do you know?
Someone Mankiewicz?
Okay, Josh Mankiewicz.
Josh Mankiewicz?
Yeah.
Here we go, everybody. Look out for O.J. Simpson. It's like listening to like some sort of a news reporter Jiminy Glick. Like all these highs and lows. It's just like, it's cliche in the extreme.
Or is it classic?
I know, you're shaking your head. You don't like this.
No, I don't like this. You're wrong.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, just know that I felt that way throughout.
Yeah.
Anytime that we'd pause for something and put it back on, I'd be like, oh my God, I forgot that he talks like this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program.
He's a classic newsman.
I don't give a shit. We're beyond this, or we should be.
No.
It's phony.
No, I'm gonna miss it when we are beyond this.
Phony baloney.
When these people start to retire and everybody's just like talking like we are, that's gonna be terrible.
That's how it's been for 100 years. You're not missing anything. You've got 100 years of people talking like that.
Well, no, but I mean, they better keep it up.
Hello. Welcome. Maybe if I talk like that, maybe our show will like skyrocket.
Maybe.
Welcome to Guide to the Unknown.
Yeah.
Or you say welcome. Here, introduce the show.
Welcome to Guide to the Unknown.
And I'm her little brother, William.
No, you have to do a real reporter voice.
And I'm her little brother, William.
Yeah.
That sucks.
No, it does suck for this, but for Dateline, that's what I want. I don't want me just being like, O.J. Simpson was a bad guy, and yada yada. No.
May I suggest a middle ground?
No. No.
It's either
I want classic, comforting Keith Morrison, Josh Mankiewicz.
And the only alternative is a clown who doesn't even know what they're talking about.
Correct.
All right.
That's probably the way it'll go. There are some shows. There have been, on like Investigation Discovery or other things, where it is some person who just like talks like a normal millennial person, and I get it, but I like it less.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about like OJ trying to set up an alibi.
Yeah.
I will also say some of my issue with the O.J. Simpson stuff is that I only heard it from Dateline, and I felt that they did something unhelpful. I feel like Dateline, and I think a lot of things do this. I think Dateline's coverage of O.J., at least this particular episode we listened to, was like, you already know about O.J., you just want to hear us talk about it.
Okay.
So it was like very glancing blows of things, because they didn't describe the crime at all. They were just like, it was the night of this event, and O.J., was he there or not?
Okay, yeah.
Later at the scene, a knife would be found.
All right, just talk like a normal person.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I can't help myself. But it was like they never once gave a posited reconstruction of how the attack happened, which it's not that I need the exploitation or the grisliness of it, but it was.
No, but
it would
you
be.
Don't know.
I don't know, and it would be helpful to me to understand what the murder was. Because at one point they just make like a passing mention of how his wife was almost decapitated.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. But I didn't know I didn't know if they were stabbed or what until that moment. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I think this just wasn't the episode for you. Like, I think you needed the episode, because this sounds like it came out because OJ died.
That's correct.
Recently.
Yes.
And so it is for people who knew about all of this stuff. So it sounds like you needed to watch the Dateline episode from, like, when it happened or something.
Maybe. But why, if you're gonna, I understand, like, he's dead, everyone rush and provide content. People are gonna want it. But if you're gonna go that far back and talk about the history and talk about the court case, which they do, like, why not really talk about it? Why are you giving glancing blows of everything? It was just weird.
Yeah.
So, what do you know about the crime itself? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do I know? I'm trying to think.
What do people say happened? Because my understanding is, OJ. This would later come out in drips and drabs that OJ was an abusive husband.
Yes.
To Nicole Brown Simpson. And she had said to people, like, at a certain point, she was like, I've had enough. We're getting separated. We're getting divorced or whatever. And then they ended up getting back together. And she even said to somebody, OJ is going to kill me.
Yeah.
And he's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, if you want, like, a really, really in-depth thing, not necessarily about the crime, although I'm sure it does go into it, but just kind of about, like, the whole context of OJ and all of the fervor around the trial and the feelings around the trial. That show that I mentioned, OJ Made in America, or OJ Simpson Made in America, it's on Netflix now, I think, is really, really good. It's super, super interesting. But, so they were together, and they got together when he was already big and famous, and part of why I just mentioned that show is because he was so incredibly famous.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was a major superstar. He was obviously, like, a big sports guy, but then, if I remember right, he was one of the first sports guys to get commercials and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that was really huge. Like, this was a mega superstar. So she got together with him when he was in that superstardom. I think she was kind of young, and so she was just, like, very much under his thumb, basically. So that's a dynamic that, from what I understand, is, like, super common anyway in abusive relationships, to kind of end up going back a lot. But she also was just, like, really dependent on him, and it was a whole thing. And plus, she would say, like, and he'll get away with it because he was somebody who really got whatever he wanted during the course of their relationship. Like, he cheated on her, she stayed with him. Like, it really was just kind of like OJ's world in a lot of ways. That she saw. So yeah, he was super abusive. She did go to the authorities a few times, because I can picture, like, pictures that they took of her bruises and things like that. So yeah, so they were separated. She that night was out at dinner, and she went home, and she forgot, I think, a pair of sunglasses or something at the place where she had dinner, and the guy who was at the house with her, Ron Goldman, I think worked at the restaurant.
Yes.
And he saw that she forgot her sunglasses, but he was also friends with her. It
was like family friends or something
they weren't,
like that.
Dating or anything.
No.
Even.
Now, I didn't know that. That is extra horrible. That, like, Ron Goldman was basically just showing up to deliver her sunglasses.
Yeah.
And he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And if we're now, I'm only gonna split hairs because of the justice system, and we literally never had it confirmed.
Yeah.
But it's then posited that, like, did OJ show up and maybe misunderstand what he was doing with Nicole Brown Simpson and flew into a frenzy?
Yeah.
And like, man, poor everybody.
I think so.
But Ron Goldman was just like, this was just like a little errand he was doing to be nice.
Totally. It's complete wrong place, wrong time. I think OJ was probably showing up to, who knows? Like, he wasn't showing up to probably have, like, just a super measured conversation with Nicole, because she didn't want to see him at all. He wasn't supposed to be around at all.
Yeah.
So he was, like, invading her space, invading the terms of whatever they had agreed about being separated. And then, yeah, he saw her with another man and just completely, violently flipped and killed both of them.
But he must have had a knife.
Yeah. True. That's right. I forget that. So yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, that's what's confusing is, like, at least in this episode of Dateline, like, I almost needed to understand how the police or how the prosecution would have framed the attack itself. Like, what is believed to have occurred?
Yeah.
You know, what's their claim that OJ did, the order of events? Like, I feel like that's important to understanding a potential motivation. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like, everything is storytelling. Like, I just needed to hear, like...
the basics of what happened.
The basics, yeah. But, so... and complicating all of this is that OJ had a friend, but who's not, like, even really his friend. He had this guy, Kato Kalin.
Oh, yeah, staying in the guest house.
Staying in the guest house. And I guess OJ was just trying to be a bud and let Kato Kalin stay in his guest house. But, like, weirdly, everything on Dateline was like they weren't even that close. And, like, at one point that very night, earlier in the evening, OJ had been like, hey, Kato, let's go get a bite to eat.
Yeah.
And they went to, like, McDonald's or something, which is weird to imagine. I guess celebrities do that.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? Yeah. But it's weird to think, like, OJ just hopping in his car and then going to get a Big Mac.
Right, they don't want constant fancy.
Yeah, exactly. But so they had been out, and then later OJ would try to say things to Kato like, we were out way later, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were out beyond when those murders occurred, right? Like, right. Basically trying to say to Kato, like...
be my alibi.
Be my alibi. Yeah. And Kato is on the show, and he describes, he's like, he never directly said, you know, help me...
Yeah, cover for me.
Never,
whatever,
he would just said it to Kato, like, because we were out later. Right, Kato? Like, he basically was, like, sort of leading Kato to, like, almost like, hey, misremember that night with me.
Right.
Which is so interesting.
Totally.
You know?
Also, what a name. I think that Kato Kalin wouldn't loom so large in pop culture if his name wasn't Kato Kalin.
Yeah.
And if he didn't have that highlighted hair. If he was just John Smith, who lived in the guest house, and just had brown hair, I don't think that we would still think about Kato Kalin as we do, which is often.
Yeah.
Like
Kalin, very often, of course.
Kato Kalin was on...
Never not thinking of Kato Kalin.
Absolutely. Kato Kalin was on The Surreal Life, which was that show on VH1 where they put celebrities together in a house, like where it was the real world with celebrities.
He was?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. Kato Kalin's been with us ever since.
Is Kato Kalin with us now?
Yeah.
He's in the back seat. He's sitting in Zoe's baby seat. Kato.
Kato.
Marcia Clark, the prosecutor, was on Dateline and was very frank. She was like, I think Kato Kalin wasn't saying everything he knew. She's like, even when he took the stand later, like, I think that she says something to the effect of, like, he was, like, putting his finger in the air to see which way the wind was blowing.
Interesting.
If OJ was winning, her theory was that Kato Kalin was not going to say anything to hurt OJ because maybe he could benefit from OJ after the fact.
Okay.
Be like, hey, I was on your team the whole time, OJ.
Uh-huh.
Or if the prosecution was winning, maybe he would have been more damning to then be like, I'm the star who saved the day with my information.
Very interesting.
But Marcia Clark was basically like, yeah, Kato Kalin was an aspiring actor and found the ways, or tried to find the ways, to use all of this exposure to his own benefit.
Yeah. Interesting. I love Marcia Clark.
Okay.
What did you think about Marcia Clark?
I liked her quite a bit. She was like, we had already lost. She's like, we lost several different times.
Yeah.
The glove thing, like, if the glove don't fit,
you must have quit.
You must have quit. She was like, that was bad.
Uh-huh.
And also she was like, I understood her, where she was like, I never wanted OJ to try on the glove. Yeah. Like, there was a glove found at the crime scene they had OJ try it on. She's like, I never wanted him to try on the glove. Ever. Yeah. I never wanted to do something that we didn't absolutely know the outcome of. So I always told my co-counsel who wanted to wear the glove, don't make him do it. Do not make him do it. And her co-counsel, whatever, insisted, OJ's got to try on the glove. This will be the smoking gun. This is his glove.
Seems crazy.
And then OJ tried on the glove and it wouldn't fit.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
I also don't even think that trying on the glove and it fitting proves much of anything.
That's true.
Like, I can try on somebody's glove and it fits, and like, what does that mean?
I know. I totally agree.
Many gloves fit many people. I've always said it.
Yes. You say it all the time.
Yeah.
But very diplomatically, she was like, that sucked. But that wasn't even the worst thing that happened.
Yeah.
Just like, we had already lost the case in a number of ways by then.
Yeah.
Which everyone, per Dateline, everyone was so confident about the evidence against OJ. Like, his blood was found at the crime. And this is where it was confusing, too. Why was his blood at the crime scene?
I don't remember.
What happened?
I don't know.
What happened to him? Why was he bleeding?
I don't know.
Is it just in the heat of the attack he nicked himself with the knife? Like,
Maybe.
It's confusing to me, but like there was like a trail of blood, and no one ever.
That sounds right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway,
that's weird. Just on the Marcia Clark of it all, I just want to know, it was years ago now. It's not going on anymore. Unless I'd be happy if she has a new one. She had a short-lived podcast where she talked about crime cases. I loved it. She took listener questions, and I called in, and they didn't play mine. I was very upset.
What did you say?
I don't remember.
I love you, Marcia.
I love you, Marcia. I think she's very smart, and she's written a number of fictional crime books. I haven't read any.
Fiction?
Yeah.
Weird.
I know.
Was it called Marcia, 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 and she's shrugging in the cover art?
No, I don't remember anything about it, but I remember that I thought it was really good.
Okay. Yeah, I liked her. I liked her fine.
Yeah.
She sounded pained by all of this because ultimately she lost.
Yeah.
And OJ went free. Now
they raked her over the coals too. Like, did they talk about that at all in this? It's not really material to this, but it was just kind of interesting for the time. People are just like watching Marcia very, very closely. I think that it was early enough in life. It was, the 90s or whatever, that it was kind of like, lady lawyer, look at her. Kind of similarly to the way that people were really hard on the Menendez brothers lawyer. I can't remember what her name is.
Okay.
But people were always talking about Marcia Clark's hairstyles and like really looking at what she's wearing and talking about it. And at one point she got a haircut that was short, and it's subjective. Was it the best haircut? In my estimation, maybe not. But people were like relentlessly making fun of her about it. It was just like a really shitty, like,
and has nothing
misogynistic
to do. Yeah, has nothing to do with
environment.
Anything.
Yeah, it seemed terrible.
But the other effect of it is that it constantly paints the prosecution with this brush of like, you're lesser.
Yeah.
And yeah, the general public
like,
almost...
There's something a little goofy about this whole thing.
The general public almost always focuses on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Which remains an issue to this day.
Of course.
So, they didn't really get into that on the show. They did get into race a lot, where they were like...
Yeah.
Like, OJ... was the jury predominantly black? I think that was like a big part of Marcia Clark's thing. I don't remember. But like, how the case became... as much about having a black celebrity on trial as it was about a murder case. And,
definitely.
And that's interesting, but that's hard for me to grapple with, if I'm honest.
That's a lot of what O.J. Simpson Made in America is about, and kind of it's way more clear, like, why... So, like, how there would be a lot of shots on TV of contrasting, like, people learning about the OJ verdict, and it's like rooms of white people being like, oh, terrible, and like rooms of black people being like, yes, yes.
Okay.
And so this all happened not long after Rodney King, which was like super, super unjust. So for a lot of people, like, even though they would privately be like, yeah, he's totally guilty, they still kind of like, they wanted a public win for a black person because something so horrible had just publicly happened to a black person. So there's this like big conflict going on, just like culturally within a lot of people, where they might know that he's guilty, but still, like, you've done so many horrible things to us, like, let's get a win or whatever. It's a really interesting documentary.
That is interesting. Yeah. That's complicated as hell.
Yeah.
OJ had evidently said something along the lines of, at some point, he's like, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yes.
That was like a phrase of his or something.
Yeah.
And so in Dateline, they were like, it was interesting then that he was, after that, really trying to be like, I'm part of the black community.
Yeah.
or something. And I was like, I understand, but he is. I know your point, but like, he
quite literally is.
He quite literally is. I'm sorry that he said, I'm not black, I'm OJ, but it didn't mean that he was immune from any prejudice because he said that phrase.
Well, Will, I think we should continue this conversation, but first, I am craving a little break like you wouldn't believe.
Are you craving Mickey D's like OJ? Because
yeah,
they're actually. Do you want to go to the drive-thru?
Yeah, I am seeing that at exit 34B, we've got the options of a Mickey D's, a Tap House 15, Jefferson Diner, or Wendy's.
What would you like?
I think Mickey D's.
Mickey D's? What's your Mickey D's order?
Chicken nuggies and fries.
Don't say nuggies, please. I don't like that at all.
Chicken nuggets and fries.
Thank you. It's actually, you're still incorrect. It's chicken McNuggets, and you're starting to piss me off.
Get over yourself. Well, I'm going to cool down a little bit by making sure everybody knows about patreon.com/GTTUpod. We actually have a whole second weekly podcast called The Netherworld Dispatch that is available exclusively to members of our Patreon. So you can go there, check out the tiers. We got a whole bunch of different stuff. We also have movie commentaries available over there. We have a Discord for our members. It's really awesome. People talk in there every day. They're very nice people.
They're really wonderful people. It's true.
Yeah, it's great. And we really appreciate everybody over there. Thank you so, so much to everybody who supports us over there. We really hope you like all the stuff. And you're great.
Absolutely. So go check that out, everybody. And once again, I just want to thank everybody who does. That's patreon.com/GTTUpod. There's also other stuff that you can check out there, like we do our cameo thing that we call jump scares if you want to get a personalized video from us. Super duper fun. So go check that out. And I've got more stuff to say about Kato Kalin, believe it or not.
Oh. I am interested. I'm surprised to hear that.
I do.
I thought we were done with him, but I'm happy. Okay.
No, I have at least one thing to say about Kato Kalin.
Okay, great.
Right? But after one more commercial break.
Okay, what Kato news do you have?
So,
Kato thoughts.
Yeah, it's not news. I'm afraid it's the opposite of news.
Okay.
It's quite old. But it does bring back one of my favorite controversial comedians, Norm Macdonald.
Okay, great.
Norm Macdonald was on Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Mm-hmm. And first of all, you know that he almost won $1 million, right?
Yes.
His whole shtick on stage was how stupid he is. And like, I don't know, I don't understand anything. Who's that guy? That guy, the schlankly clankly guy from World War II. What's his name? Like, his whole joke was like, he's messy and doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
And he got to the $1 million question. And bungled it because he thought that Regis Philbin was trying to give him a hint. And he trusted Regis's like whims and was wrong.
How many of us have fallen?
He had
trusted Regis's whims.
Many of us have fallen.
Yeah.
He had the right answer and changed it because of Regis being like, "Are you sure, Norm? Are you sure?"
Boy, Regis could really mess with your mind by doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You ever seen that show and he does that? That can rattle a person.
Oh, it would make me question everything.
Yeah.
If I told him my name and he was like, "Are you sure about that?"
Yep.
I'd be like, I don't know if I am, Regis. I don't know if I'm sure.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, Norm he almost won $1 million for charity. Ugh. And then it dropped down to like $500,000 because of Regis's meddling.
Just brutal.
Goddamn Regis. So anyway, on that program, on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, this is an old show, so you used to, for people who don't know, they were like, it was just a question and answer game show thing with questions that got harder and harder and harder, and you had lifelines.
Yeah.
So if you could use them 3 times, you could be like, let's ask the audience what they think the answer is. Let's phone a friend. Let's see if my friend knows the answer. But on Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you could also just have a friend in the audience.
Yeah.
And it would be like Kathy Griffin would be there, and then she'd be like, that's my friend Andy Dick in the audience, or something. I don't know. I don't know why they're equal in my head. David Spade would be more apt, probably.
Very often, people said they looked alike or something, so they would sometimes be
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so Regis is like, now, Norm, you brought someone in the audience. Tell me who you brought. And I was like, yeah, it's my good friend Kato Kalin.
Oh.
And so it was Kato in the audience for Norm, and he's just like waving.
That's ridiculous.
But I think that was another like FU to NBC.
Yeah, totally.
About Norm being fired.
Definitely.
Because of the OJ stuff. So
it was essentially an OJ joke.
So it's essentially an OJ joke to bring Kato.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder if somewhere OJ Simpson's like, he's still doing it.
Damn it.
He's still doing it. He can't keep getting away with this.
No. That's really funny.
All right. Now, we're not
So
really...
that's your Cato joke.
That's my Cato information.
Okay.
Now, we're not really a true crime podcast.
No.
And admittedly, I don't know anything about what we're talking about.
Well, you know a little bit.
Do you think... But it's not a very informed... At least on my part, not a very informed conversation.
It's fine. This was us just talking, William. Remember, we're doing Club Random.
Oh, yeah, Club Random, I forgot.
Yeah, you're just telling me about what you heard on Dateline.
I just know that sometimes when people are talking out of their ass about something that is very well known, it could be frustrating to hear. So I just want to clarify for listeners, I know that I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so anyway, OJ gets away with it, right? Like, he's found innocent.
Yep.
But then he writes a book.
How nuts is this?
This is like, I think, second to the actual murder.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Did you not know this?
I knew of this, but OJ has been irrelevant, believe it or not, to me for a long time. So hearing this Dateline was like, it was just like a refresher of like, this is crazy. So OJ writes a book called If I Did It.
So crazy.
Did you read this book, or what do you know about this book?
No, I think that it ended up not even being published or something.
It was published.
But wasn't it pulled back or something like that? Like, it was published, but then they didn't put it in stores or something?
There was something like that at first.
Yeah.
And it was either Nicole Brown's family or Ron Goldman's family who sued or something.
Like, I don't think it ended up on shelves. I think that they printed a bunch of copies and then you could buy it on eBay from people who got it somehow, but I don't think that it was distributed.
I do believe it's out there now.
It is now. It's on eBay and stuff, but it was never distributed like a normal book would be.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was, because here's what I thought I knew, and I guess maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought that, yeah, maybe whatever OJ had originally intended with the book got blocked, and then the Goldman family or the Brown family or both, I don't know, ended up winning the rights to the book.
Okay.
And published it, still under the title If I Did It, but they structured the cover to just say, I did it, and the word if is really tiny and in the corner. So it's published visually as if, like, if you were just walking through the store, it looks like it says, I did it, by O.J. Simpson.
Oh, weird.
But I do think, and I don't have it confirmed, I do think that in that book, O.J. tells that night's events.
Yeah.
And how the murder would have happened.
Right.
Now, I always...
Theoretically, if he had done it.
Right, exactly. But I always thought that the intent of that book from OJ was obviously to make money, but also to be like, if I did it, it would be super different.
You guys got it all wrong.
You guys got it all wrong, because it wouldn't have gone that way.
Right.
But what I think I now understand is that he was essentially, in the book, it is him admitting to the crime without definitively admitting to it.
Yes.
It's him telling the story of the murder, but always saying, like, this is how it would have happened, rather than saying this is how it did happen.
Yes.
Otherwise, all the facts are accurate.
Yes.
That is so crazy.
No, that's exactly what it is. Like,
That-
they pretty much nailed what the events and everything.
So he all but admitted to it.
Yes.
He said, he told the story that I wanted Dateline to explain.
Yes.
Here's how the murder went, blow by blow by blow, but he just always adds essentially the word allegedly.
Yes.
That's insane.
It's absolutely nuts.
That's like a mockery of the justice system.
Oh, I know.
almost.
It's crazy. And I don't know all the details of this because actually I saw this YouTube video up and then I didn't click it. It came up like when, he died and people were putting stuff up. He did an interview with somebody like in promotion of the book If I Did It.
Okay.
And like discussing the events of the book and again doing the whole allegedly thing. And again, I think that the YouTube video said, and who knows, it could just be for clicks or whatever, it was like the retracted or pulled down interview that OJ did about the book If I Did It. And it was like an hour long, so I didn't watch it. But I vaguely remembered that too. I kind of remembered at the time it being like, oh, OJ's gonna do this interview about if I did it, which is going to be him basically talking about the crime and then being like, if I had done that, of course.
But
Whatever.
that's so crazy.
I don't know if it's some sort of like double jeopardy thing too that he's leaning on, because there's that thing, at least according to the Tommy Lee Jones Ashley Judd movie, where you can't be tried for the same crime twice.
Right.
It's called double jeopardy.
Yeah.
So not only is he saying allegedly, but also, you know, is it true that he couldn't be tried for it again? I don't know.
That's
I mean,
gotta be...
he then, I know that the Goldman family took him to civil court, and he was found guilty there.
Yes, that is wild. So he is ultimately found liable for the deaths of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson in a civil trial rather than a criminal trial. Right. So he had to pay them money for causing the death. But crazily, for whatever reason, a civil trial, and this is just my lack of understanding about the justice system. Yeah. How can you be...
I don't know.
How can you be found guilty of causing the death of someone but not be considered guilty of murder?
I don't know. I've heard of this happening a number of times, though, where somebody gets acquitted or there's a mistrial or something, and then the families of the person that they killed bring them to civil court and then they get found guilty.
That's crazy.
It is. I have no idea how it works.
Like, if it were an accidental death or something, that would make more sense to me, where it's like I indirectly caused someone's death, right, but it's not a murder. But if it's like killing someone with a knife, that's murder.
Yeah, I really don't understand.
The world, that's a head scratcher to me, and that just really might be me being ignorant and stupid, but that is crazy.
Well, I don't think that it's so crazy that we don't understand the intricacies of the criminal justice system.
I think we should know every page of... we should take the bar before talking about this.
We don't know that stuff. That's not our world. But yeah, it's totally nuts. And then did they go into him going to jail later?
No, they like sort of touched on that. I forgot about that.
Okay. So he's acquitted, he's free, all of that.
Can I interrupt you real quick before we talk about OJ going to jail?
Yes.
Where the hell is this McDonald's? Because I feel that we are wildly off course.
We long passed it.
What?
You missed something.
Well, why didn't you just yell at me?
Because we were doing this.
God damn it.
It's fine.
I wanted to get you your chicken nuggies or whatever you said.
Yeah. It's fine. It was some sort of like weird jug handle situation. I saw it. Yeah.
Well, we have to turn around then because we're also off course for the actual errand I'm trying to run.
I know, I saw that.
All right, you also didn't...
You had already passed it when you kind of went like, eh.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a sign that was like... To be fair, there were also confusing signs.
Yes,
I don't want to bore the audience. Yeah. There was confusing signage and... Okay, all right, I blew it. But also, you didn't follow the... you didn't know my unspoken need to right all my wrongs as I drive, and for that I hold you responsible.
I will not take that responsibility. This is your fault.
God damn it.
And that's okay.
We're like way off track.
It's okay, it's fine.
All right.
So we're definitely completely off track for McDonald's, but we can still do your errand.
We're off track for that too.
I mean, we're going there.
I went like 10 minutes in the wrong direction looking for McDonald's, evidently not realizing that I drove right past it. So, right, anyway.
Oh, you still kept going because you still thought we were going to find the McDonald's?
I've been looking for McDonald's since we mentioned McDonald's, I've been looking for that McDonald's. But I'm also the guy who keeps confusing O.J. Simpson and JFK, so...
It's fine.
I don't know why you trust me to drive the car with any form of intelligence.
We really should pull over, maybe. So, he's acquitted, he's out and about, and who knows whether it's just like the hubris of celebrity, or the hubris of celebrity now compounded by the fact that you have literally gotten away with murder.
Yes.
Like, that is a turn of phrase that, you can get away with murder. He literally has. Yeah. So he has become a big party boy. He's partying all over the place. He's partying in Florida.
Kind of feel like partying right now.
But it all comes to a head when he's partying in Vegas, I believe. Now I'm not sure. I think it is Vegas. But he's partying somewhere where they have a piece of his memorabilia. I don't remember what it is, but somebody has bought some sports memorabilia.
It's the jacket that he wore in The Naked Gun that he got paint on it. Remember? Oh man, he got paint on his coat. It's that.
He's like, this will not abide.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have this thing that they have bought because apparently sports memorabilia is like a humongous market. People buy this for like tons and tons of money. Footballs and...
Everything's a unique piece.
Right, like championship rings and all that kind of stuff. So OJ at one point...
Jockey straps.
Yeah, these sorts of things. OJ at one point had sold some of his stuff because people will buy it for tons of money. It's like super lucrative. And then, there's a whole market for it, and then this hotel bought that from somebody. OJ sees it, he's pissed, he is probably on something, and he decides to steal it. Now, if I remember correctly, I, at one point, had thought that it was just like a drunken night. He decided to, smash a glass case.
Impulsive.
Right. No, it's not impulsive. He has like a whole scheme going with multiple people.
What?
In order to steal this thing back. And so he gets caught because there are cameras everywhere. And he goes back to jail because of that. And he's in jail for years.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? So he does end up going to jail, but for something so friggin' stupid. He's still rich. He doesn't need this thing. He
sold it. He made money from it.
Okay.
So, well, you're saying he sold it, right?
Oh, no, I'm saying, no, this person had gotten it because he had sold it at one point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
my point is he possessed it at one point and then made money from its sale.
Yes, I thought you meant he sold it after he stole it back.
Oh, I don't know about that. But that, you'd already profited from it, OJ.
Right.
Your interaction with this thing is done.
If I remember correctly.
Although...
Again, we are just shooting the shit. We did not research this.
We literally didn't even plan to talk about this.
No.
It just came up.
I haven't thought about this in forever.
Yeah, it just came up when we got in the car.
Yeah.
But so, OJ, what a scheme, though. Mm-hmm. Sell some of your football memorabilia, then steal it back and sell it to someone else, and then steal it back and sell it to someone else.
Not bad. But yeah, I remember being very surprised during OJ Simpson Made in America when they talked about this whole thing, because I had always assumed that it was just sort of like a weird, drunken, impulsive thing. And no, he and at least two other people conspired, made a plan. It was a whole plot. It was a very stupid plot where they got caught almost immediately.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I remember him being in jail. A lot of people treated it well, he's not in jail for the murder, but at least he's in jail.
Yes.
Do you really think that it was a hubris thing of I am untouchable?
I kind of do.
I am the juice.
I kind of do.
Speaking of the juice, so obviously he's Orenthal James Simpson, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes by the name OJ.
Yeah.
So people call him the Juice.
Right.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When you were in school and they announced that he had been found not guilty, since it was just for the teachers, why didn't they have a code? Why didn't they go, attention staff, the juice is fresh? Right?
Yeah.
Right? And then if he had been found guilty, they could say, attention staff, the juice is behind bars.
That's a great question.
That way the kids aren't reminded about that heinous murder.
Yeah, right. That's a great question. Yeah, they're not upsetting the children by reminding us of the murderer. I don't know. They should have done that.
That would have been middle school. You were 12.
Yeah, it was middle school.
Oh, God.
Is that so weird?
That is so strange.
I know.
So strange.
Very strange. No, I absolutely do think it was hubris. When he was out, he was really going wild. He was partying with... I'm trying to remember. I have something with porn stars in my mind. He wasn't in porn or anything, but I don't know. Maybe he was just partying in strip clubs a lot or something. He was just living a major party boy lifestyle. He was just living a wild life. And I think that he was just I can kind of do anything. He was living very free.
Now there's no way to have a real answer to this question. But do you think you've now... So you firmly believe, first of all, that he is guilty of murder?
I do.
All right.
What do you think?
I guess I do. Everything sounded pretty goddamn damning.
Yeah.
But that's where and this is maybe a me thing. Mm-hmm. It's a little tricky for me though when it's the justice system is there for a reason, and we've watched it fail a number of times.
Yeah.
But unless they do have literally like a smoking gun type piece of evidence that conclusively puts someone there, it's hard for my brain not to wander and be like, but like coincidences happen all the time. Like,
I know.
What if he?
It's just a lot of coincidences.
I know. Which is why I'm like 99.99999. It sure seems like he killed them.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, well, he was found not guilty. So he's legally not guilty. Illegally, he did not do it.
Right.
Civilly, he did. That's confusing.
Yes.
It sure sounds like he did it.
Yeah.
Now, clearly he wanted to commit those murders, or he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But don't you think, even if you get away with it, that's gotta be, and I'm not saying, please understand that what I'm about to say is not to be empathetic toward OJ. Don't you think that would be a traumatic event?
To be tried for murder?
To kill somebody.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I hope that if he indeed, and it all, again, it sure seems like he did. If he killed these people, I hope that even if during those parties, even having all that fun, whatever, you gotta hope that nightmares plagued him and the trauma of doing it plagued him, and some level of morality was in there.
He may have been partying all like bad and everything as a way to cope and escape.
Some sort of a prison of his own mind.
Kind of.
Because he didn't go to jail for this.
Kind of.
How could you not?
Who knows?
You'd have to really be like a genuine sociopath.
Yeah.
Not to be traumatized by your own actions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Which he may have been. I don't know.
You gotta hope.
But still, yeah.
I do know that when he was free for the last several years, he was relatively active on Twitter.
Oh, yes.
So he would post and be like, on a golf course, and be like, it's the juice here, everybody.
Yeah,
hello.
hey,
hope you're having a lovely day.
Hey, it's your friend OJ.
And back to my buddy Norm, he would often like retweet and be like, I hope you're having a good day too, Juice. Just like hounding this guy.
Howard Stern also played a lot of clips of OJ on Twitter, yes, and he and Robin would mercilessly make fun of him.
That is really crazy to be like, can you just take the win, quote unquote, and just disappear with your wealth?
It's crazy. And also, Nicole Brown's sister was on the Howard Stern show after he got out.
Yeah?
And talked about it, and
what a misery.
I know.
The Juice.
The Juice. That is a good nickname for somebody named OJ. Which ruins it for all other OJs.
It does. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Is there another famous OJ?
Let me think. I don't know. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Now that's genuine, that's like crime of the century type stuff.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Although it was in the 90s, so it was in the 1900s, so it's still along. Fatty Arbuckle still happened.
It did, but I don't
Fatty
know.
Arbuckle is still canon.
I suppose, but I don't know. I think that perhaps OJ eclipsed Fatty Arbuckle in fame.
Or
I
at
could
least
be wrong, at least for a certain generation.
At least in awareness.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Any final thoughts, Will, on OJ? So, I'm surprised that was your first full Dateline episode?
At least as far as memory serves. I couldn't swear that I've never seen Dateline.
Well, no, but I know you've listened to it. Maybe not full, but I know you've talked to me about listening to it with Allie before.
Well, Allie still is always listening to this stuff. So sometimes I still I'll come into the bedroom at night. Like Allie a lot of nights Allie will go to bed before me.
Yeah.
And I'll come up and she has fallen asleep listening to his face had been removed and then put aside for later. Right. It's just you're relaxing. You're so calm and sedate. So she still is way into this stuff, as many people are.
I love Dateline.
But I don't think I've ever literally been let's put on an episode of Dateline and I will listen to it.
Well, my question is, as you said, when you guys have time to yourselves to listen to something, do you think in the future you will not want to listen to Dateline specifically? Will you be looking for some other thing to listen to?
I think I would rather listen to someone else's reporting.
Okay. All right, fair.
I thought that they did a fine job, and clearly I don't think, and this is I really don't think that I had the knowledge base of OJ for this episode to make sense to me. But I can't imagine I'm the only one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wish that they had done something that was although I also don't think that other people care about the particular questions that I'm interested in. So I don't know. It wasn't for me.
Yeah,
and I know I was making fun of the guy's voice a lot, but that put on reporter voice.
Yeah.
man, I'm sorry. It just doesn't. It's just generic ass like reporting to me. It's almost anonymous. Where I'm like, what?
I don't know. I could pish. I could pish.
I could pish right now.
Yeah.
I'm so upset.
I could definitely pick Josh Mankiewicz's and Keith Morrison's voices out of a lineup.
Well, the quality of your voice is one thing, and then the like
Cadence?
the cadence. I'm really criticizing the cadence more than anything, because people don't talk like that.
Yeah.
People go like, so what are we doing today? Oh, we're doing the OJ episode? Okay. All right. Are we recording? Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's... Once that contrast happens, where you're like, can I get a hash browns on rye for lunch?
Yeah.
When you pick it up.
Hash browns on rye.
Yeah, I'll I'd like a hash browns on rye for lunch, if you can pick that up for me. And, okay. All right,
No,
thanks.
I can't. That's too weird. I'll be embarrassed to say that.
Just say it. It's fun to say. And get that to me, because I'm hungry, and I'll eat it. Anyway, back to work, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, gang! OJ Simpson. It's just like,
Yeah.
once you have to hit that, it just is so phony baloney.
I gotcha.
That to me is the issue more than anything.
I understand. Well,
How regular-
thank you all for being with us for this episode.
Welcome to my episode. Do you actively, regularly listen to Dateline?
No, but I do here and there.
Dateline, what is it? Is it
By the way,
it's a
I
TV
prefer,
show, right?
I prefer to watch it. Yeah. It's a TV show that they transferred into a podcast, and it is wildly successful as a podcast. Like, if you look at the charts, it's always like the top.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
it bugs me that I know that I could be watching it. I've tried to. I mean, I have listened to it very here and there. It bothers me that I know I could be watching it because I want to see.
Yeah.
Now that I know that I could.
It's like this podcast, how you could listen or you could watch. Although, ironically, this
Well-
episode, there's no real video version.
Yeah, and also if you watch, you're just looking at us. Like if you watch Dateline, they're showing you like the people who things happened to, and you can see, the other people who are, talking about knowing the people, and it's a lot more varied.
Hey, what do you mean just looking at us? What the hell is that supposed to mean? That's like the
You're
height
right.
of entertainment.
Yeah, you're right.
The faces that you make?
Oh, yeah, it's true. I am quite expressive.
Every frame is like a painting. When I'm looking for like cover art for our episodes, I'll like scrub through the video.
Yeah.
I always pick like 4 or 5 per episode. You're so expressive, it's wild.
Old rubber face
I
over
know.
here.
And I always have the same expression. It's way harder for me to find my face than it is to find your face.
Well, you look normal the whole time, and I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to edit the episodes, I look insane.
I got like resting Bill face. I always,
Yeah, but you look normal, and
I always look pissed off.
I look nuts. I keep squishing my head back, and I look crazy. So
Alright.
it's not the worst thing.
Well, everybody, we're in town for this thing that I have to do.
Yep.
I have to find a bank. I'm still pissed we didn't find
Oh
that
my
McDonald's.
God, we have to find a bank.
We have to find a bank. We're in like the middle of nowhere.
I'm about to say we're in somewhere that is like I would dare say is borderline rural. I think that you're gonna have to put a bank into the GPS, and then we're gonna have to have like a 20-minute drive to a bank.
I keep hoping
Alright,
that
it's
we'll
fine.
stumble across a town.
We're definitely not going to.
We're in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
everybody.
Okay.
All right, we gotta go now.
Yep. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This was like I enjoyed doing this. I know that we didn't know what we were doing or anything. I actually like that a little bit.
Yeah, it was fun.
I hope people were down to enjoy the ride. A little variety never hurt anybody.
That's right.
So we'll be back next week with something that is the typical Guide to the Unknown structure, but
Yes.
we just felt like having a little bit of a good time this week.
Yeah, have a little chat.
Absolutely. So thank you all so much. Go check out patreon.com/GTTUpod if you are in a position to support us and get access to the Netherworld Dispatch, the Discord, all of that good stuff. And thank you to everybody who already does.
Yes, thank you.
Follow at GTTUpod. You'll see every time that we post new episodes, if we go live. And you can also follow us individually.
Yep, I am at Chillin' Kristen.
I'm at The Myth Traveler. So we'll see you next week, everybody. We'll be back in the quote-unquote studio.
Yeah.
But until that time comes, we are literally traveling.
We are kind of in the netherworld adjacent, and we're gonna go find a bank.
Wish us luck.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
It's very lovely. It's just we're not gonna stumble on a bank.
There's literally nothing around.
No.
I might have to, knock on someone's door and try to sell my
Are
wares.
you the bank?
You got new money?